page 14.1, chapter 14. Nationalism, internationalism, globalization and theories of international relations. 1. Nationalism. In the Dictionary of International Relations, Graham Evans and Jeffrey Newham define nationalism as a term used in two related senses. Within inverted comma, in the first usage, nationalism seeks to identify a behavioral entity, the nation, and thereafter to pursue certain political and cultural goals on behalf of it. In the second usage, nationalism is a sentiment of loyalty towards the nation which is shared by people within inverted comma, so considered. It is a term which holds that a so considered, it is a term which holds that a nation within bracket usually defined in terms of ethnicity or culture bracket close has the right to constitute itself into an independent or autonomous political community based on shared history and common aspirations. This is what nationalism is considered as a doctrine or an ideology in the classical sense of the term. In the classical sense, nationalism encompasses two phenomena. One, the attitude that the members of a nation take with their identity as members of the nation. Two, the actions they take to achieve or sustain some form of political sovereignty. With these, nationalism is the concept which features the supremacy of the nation's claim over other claim to individual allegiance and which features full sovereignty as the persistent aim of its political program. As ideology or doctrine, nationalism can be seen in a diverse range of forms: political, cultural, ethnic. Political nationalism within bracket further can be liberal, conservative, expansionist, anti-colonial bracket closed is an attempt to use the nation ideal to further specific political aims. Cultural nationalism would emphasize or regeneration of a nation as a distinctive civilization, stressing on the need to defend or strengthen, say, for example, the language, religion, or the like. Ethnic nationalism, overlapping with cultural nationalism, implies a stronger sense of distinctiveness and exclusively. Political nationalism in the liberal form implies right to self-determination. All nations are equal and should therefore be free and sovereign. Political nationalism in the conservative form implies social cohesion embodied in emotionally charged patriotism, loyalty rooted in the shared past. Political nationalism in the expansionist form implies aggressive belief to extend the borders of the state, everything within the state, nothing against the state, and nothing above the state. Political nationalism in the form of anti-colonialism implies national liberation. Swaraj becomes one's birthright and one would want to have it. Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. Page 14.2. Nationalism has come to say it is an integral part of one's culture, one's identity, one's self-realization. Today's internationalism accepts it and seeks its expansion within its framework, whatever be its overtones. 4 debates are said to be around: 1. With nations emerging as a result of some distinctive phenomenon where a nation seeks the right to have her sovereign existence. A situation has arisen which threatens the unity of the state from within on the one hand, and an imbalance among the new nation states on the other. 2. Nationalism of yesterday was related to the concept described as ethnic, race, language, culture. However, nationalism of today is related to something associated with commonalities. opposition to colonialism, arch for modernization, and the like. In other words, there is a difference in the implication of nationalism between cases where the state and its associated nationalism represents an already existing community within bracket shared history, culture, race bracket closed, and the one where it is the state that has created the nationalism. A debate between industry and modernity. 3. Nationalism has its positive and negative aspects. A debate that takes one side or the other. In the positive sense, nationalism has helped provide the principle of legitimacy. It has made possible the realization of the democratic principles. It has created a sense of belongingness, and it has been a source of human creativity and diversity. In the negative sense, nationalism has been Nationalism has been the cause of conflict among nations. It has led to aggressive policies. It has proved an obstacle to international cooperation. It has made nations dividing up among numerous sub-nations. It has created a climate of intolerance and dictatorship. 4th, the question of nationalism has always been the question of loyalty. Loyalty towards whom? Towards the nation state or towards political and social movements, communism, religion, feminism, or towards primary subgroup, say friendship. E.M. Foster saying that he would prefer to betray his country than betray a friend. Or as Virginia Woolf had once said, within inverted comma, as a woman, I have no country. Bracket, inverted comma close. Nationalism is a fact of history, and also a fact of future. Internationalism has to work within the framework of nationalism, though the trends towards regional cooperation are happily asserting themselves within bracket EU, ASEAN, ASEAN, comma, SAARC, SAARC, and the like, bracket closed. Nationalism quotes within inverted comma. Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind. Einstein. Next within inverted comma, born in inquiry, within inverted comma, born in iniquity and conceived in sin. The spirit of nationalism has never ceased to bend human institutions to the service of dissension and distress. Veblen. Next, within inverted comma, patriotism is the willingness to kill and be killed for tribal reasons. Russell. Next, within inverted comma, nationalism is one form of incest in our idolatry. Idolatry is our sanity. Inverted comma close. From FROMM. Next, within inverted comma, patriotism is when love of your own people came first. Nationalism when hate for people other than you own comes first. Charles de Gaulle. 2. Internationalism. Internationalism is rightly described as the theory and practice of transnational or global cooperation. As a political ideal, it is based on the belief that nationalism should be transcended because the ties that bind people of different nations are stronger than those that separate them. Internationalism implies global cooperation, erecting a political structure to which all the people, irrespective of racial, religious, social, national differences, should demonstrate allegiance. Though the voice of internationalism has been very feeble, yet it is attempting to assert itself. Two traditions of internationalism are often stated. Liberal, one that is based on individualism, reflected in the belief that the universal individual and human rights have the higher status than the sovereignty of the nations. Socialist, one that is rooted in the international class solidarity, as in proletarian internationalism. International Comintern, oftenly feminism, racialism, religious fundamentalism to exhibit weaker forms of internationalism. Internationalism has an edge over the nationalism, for it stands for universal brotherhood, global peace, international cooperation, worldism. Immanuel Kant is said to be the father of universal moral order, envisaging a world of nations with no war around. And yet, its weakness is no less important. Potency of nationalism still exists. Newer methods of imperialism are usually introduced. Within inverted comma, realism in international relations has more say than idealism. Internationalism quotes, within inverted comma, the most tragic paradox of our time is to be found in the failure of nation states to recognize the imperatives of internationalism. Warren. Within inverted comma, next within inverted comma, on the contrary, internationalism also recognizes by its very name that nations do exist. It simply limits their scope more than what one-sided nationalism does. In inverted comma close, that is Lange. Next, within inverted comma, we are in the Lange spelling is Lange. Next, within inverted comma, we are in the midst of a great transition from narrow nationalism to international partnership. Inverted comma close, Lyndall Johnson. Next, within inverted comma, the root of the problem is very simple. If there were no sovereign states, there would be no international war. The main obstacle is nationalism. Angel. Page 14.3, Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. 3. Globalization. The term within inverted comma globalization has been a familiar one. About 2 decades back, this term was hardly used. Anthony Giddens claims to have used it extensively then when no one would like to use it either in academic life or newspaper, and certainly not in business discourse. Within so short a time, the term has travelled the distance from nowhere to everywhere. It has become a fact, a hard reality. The term within inverted comma globalization has been defined in a variety of alternative ways with varying emphasis on social, economic, political, cultural and what not. Numerous definitions of globalizations have given the term an international look. Scholars have begun to talk about the world as a global village. Its main emphasis is on connectivity, which, as Hayward within bracket key concepts in politics bracket close says, means that geographical distances are declining and that the territorial boundaries are becoming less significant. Globalization, Haywood warns, does not imply the subordination of within inverted comma local or within inverted comma national to the global, but it signifies the deepening and broadening of the political process where things at local, national and global levels interact with each other. Indeed, in its economic dimensions, globalization means the internationalization of world's economies, bringing them nearer to each other, through free and unhindered flow of goods, services, capital, technology and like. In the larger sense of the term, globalization is a process of bringing people, nations, civilization, cultures together through means which may be political, economic or social. It is making a ground for one world as one state, one economy, one culture. It is a process and a strategy to globalize all the nations, economically, socially, politically, culturally. As an ideology, globalization is underpinned by new liberalism. The key assumption of new liberal economics is that an efficient allocation of resources enhances productivity. It is assumed that the increased productivity enhances prosperity and aggregate welfare, and that through the trickle-down effect, standards of living will rise for everyone. Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. Page 14.4, 3, Globalization. In this model, efficiency is stimulated by unfettered competition between economic players. This means removing barriers to trade and opening economies up to world markets by eliminating protectionist measures and minimizing state interference in markets. Globalization is also a social political process through its impact on culture, governance and domestic policy making. Globalization as an idea is defining how we see the world and reducing cultural diversity in terms of perceptions as well as products. David held within bracket global transformations, politics, economics and culture bracket close defines globalization as the widening, deepening and speeding up of worldwide interconnectedness in all aspects of contemporary social life. Invert comma close. Within close, guidance within bracket the consequences of modernity bracket close refers to globalization as within inverted comma the intensification of worldwide social relations which link distant localities in such a way that local happenings are shaped by events occurring many miles away and vice versa. Inverted comma close. Scolet within bracket globalization, a critical introduction, bracket close, describes globalization as, within inverted comma, the deterioration or the growth of super territorial relations between people, inverted comma close. Harvey, within bracket, the condition of postmodernity, bracket close, calls globalization as time-space compression. Globalization is an attempt at shared social space. It is both the denationalization of power as well as denationalization of social, economic and political activity. It is a conceptual shift in our thinking from a primary geopolitical perspective to the perspective of geocentric or global politics. It is not the end of the sovereign power of the state, but is an attempt to share power between national, regional and global authorities. It is not the end of countries' borders, but is one that makes borders soft. It is less the creation of a world state as it is of creating a global thinking that despite diversities, mankind is one. It is the union of diversities. The path of globalization is not at all easy. The realities of the present day world politics and despairing while the hope of a better future is promising. Globalization is between power and paradise. One would like to conclude with Anthony McGraw, within inverted comma, therefore, globalization undoubtedly will remain a powerful force for global change, hopefully for the better, but quite possibly for the worse. Inverted comma close. Religion organizations like the European Union, within bracket EU, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, within bracket ASEAN, ASEAN, South Asian Association for the Religious Cooperation, within bracket SAARC, SAARC, bracket closed, and the like are attempts to address and to some extent solve the issues relating globalizations. The United Nations, with its principal organs and specialized agencies, have already been at work much before globalizing efforts entered the globalization domain. Chapter 14: Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. Page 14.5. 3. Globalizations. The World Trade Organization, facilitating the trade relations already at work through numerous meetings, was established in 1995, which helped the cause of globalizations. The following table sums up the GATT and WTO trade rounds since 1947. GATT and WTO trade rounds. In the chart, in the horizontal column, the headings are name, start, duration, countries, subject covered, achievements. Under name, in the vertical column, Geneva, Annecy, Turkey, Geneva II, Dillon, Kennedy, Tokyo, Uruguay. Under start, April 1947 against Geneva, April 47. In the horizontal line, in the horizontal column, against Geneva, start, April 1947. Duration, in the horizontal column, 7 months. Countries, 23. Subject covered, tariffs. Wrong. I repeat again. GATT and WTO trade rounds. In the table, in the horizontal column, the headings are name, start, duration, countries, subject covered, achievements. Under name, Geneva. Under start, April 1947. Under duration, 7 months. Countries, under countries, 23. Subject covered. In the vertical column, tariffs. In the vertical column, under achievements, signing of GATT, 45,000 tariff concessions affecting $10 billion of trade. Under name, in the vertical column, Annecy. Under start, in the vertical column, against Annecy, April 1949. Duration, all are against Annecy. Duration, 5 months. Countries, 13. Subject covered, tariffs. Achievements, countries exchanged some 5,000 tariff concessions. Under name, Turkey. Against Turkey, in the horizontal column, under start, September 1950. Under duration, 8 months. Under countries, 38. Subject covered, under subject covered, tariffs. Under achievements, countries exchanged some 8,700 tariff concessions, cutting the 1948 tariff levels by 25%. Under name, Geneva II. Against Geneva II, in the horizontal column, under start, January 1956. Duration, 5 months. Under countries, 26. Subject covered, tariffs. Admission of Japan. $2.5 billion in tariff reductions. Under achievements. Under achievements, against Geneva II, $2.5 billion in tariff reductions. Under name, Dillon. In the horizontal column, against Dillon, under start, September 1960. Duration, under duration, 11 months. Under countries, 26. Subject covered, tariffs. Under achievements, tariff concessions worth $4.9 billion of world trade. Under name, Kennedy. Against Kennedy, in the horizontal column, under start, May 1964. Duration, 37 months. Countries, 62. Under subject covered, tariffs, anti-dumping. Under achievements, tariff concession worth $40 billion of world trade. Under name, in the vertical column, Tokyo. Against Tokyo, in the horizontal column, under start, September 1973. under the head duration 74 months, under the head countries 102, under the head subject covered, tariffs, non-tariff measures within inverted comma framework, inverted comma close agreements. Under achievements, tariff reductions worth than $300 billion achieved. Uruguay, under name Uruguay. Against Uruguay in the horizontal column under heading start September 1986, under heading duration 87 months, under heading countries 123, under heading subject covered, tariffs, non-tariff measures, rules, services, intellectual property, dispute settlement, textiles, agriculture, creation of WTO, etc. Under achievements, under the heading achievements, the round led to the creation of WTO and extended the range of trade negotiations, leading to major reductions in tariffs within inverted comma about 40% bracket closed, and agricultural subsidies, an agreement to allow full access for textiles and clothing from developing countries, and an extension of intellectual property rights. Under the head name Doha, in the horizontal column under start November 2001, under the head duration round countries, under the head countries 141, under the head subject cover, tariffs, non-tariff measures, agriculture, labor standards, environment, competition, investment, transparency, patents, etc. Under the head achievements, the round is not yet completed. 4. Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. Page 14.6, Roman 4, Theories of International Relations. There are numerous theories of international relations. A brief analysis of major theories can be summed up as under. Roman 4a, Realist Theory. Though the realist theory in international relation is associated with Hans Morgenthau, within bracket, politics among nations, bracket closed, its patriarch was Reinhold Niebuhr. Numerous other advocates of the earliest theory are Thomson, Kennan, Wolfers, Schumann and Spikeman. Morgenthau's realist theory refers to focus on within inverted comma power, though numerous philosophers like Nietzsche, Kaufmann, Laswell, Eston too adopted the power approach in their analysis of politics. Morgenthau's theory of realism in international relations is based on a synthesis of 6 principles, which are as follows. 1. International relations is governed by objective laws that have their roots in human nature. 2. The main signpost of political realism is the concept of interest defined in terms of power. 3. Interest defined as power is an objective category which is universally valid, although its exact meaning may change with times and circumstances. 4. Political realism is aware of the moral significance of political action, and it is also aware of the ineluctable tension between the moral command and the requirements of successful political action. 5. The moral aspirations of a particular nation cannot be identified with the moral laws that govern the universe. 6. Realist politics is an autonomous sphere that needs to be analyzed as an entity without being subordinated to any other sphere of human concern. Realism makes several important assumptions. It assumes that the international system is anarchy in the sense that there is no authority above states capable of regulating their interactions with other states. Realism also assumes that sovereign states, rather than international institutions, non-governmental organizations or multinational corporations, are the primary actors in international affairs. Each state is seen as a rational actor which always pursues self-interest, and the primary goal of each state is to ensure its own security. In the pursuit of that security, states attempt to amass resources, and relations between states are determined by their relative level of power in terms of military and economic capabilities. Military capabilities must be at least sufficient to deter attack. The strategic planning should be along the lines of the worst case scenario. For example, Kaplan's within bracket 2000 books with 2000 bracket close book, The Coming Anarchy, makes one of many points which can be paraphrased as follows. Sometimes external mediation within bracket force bracket closed is justified as the only remedy for the still plenty places in the world where conceptions of within inverted comma justice come across to others as the wholesale, even violent denial of justice. There are two main sub-schools of realism: maximal realism and minimal realism. Under maximal realism theory, a situation where there is more than one superpower is an inherently unstable situation, and one which will inevitably collapse into a more stable system until one nation eventually becomes the most powerful. The theory of minimal realism holds that it is possible to have two or more superpowers because of all the strategies possible in the alliances which can be made between non-hegemonic states which frequently enact policies of the moment, within bracket, as for example playing both sides against the middle bracket closed. Morgenthau observes that if every state seeks to keep power, to increase it or to demonstrate it, three different policies correspond to these three patterns: policy of status quo, policy of imperialism, and the policy of prestige. The policy of status quo tends towards keeping power rather than changing the distribution of power, whereas the policy of imperialism seeks to acquire more power by reversing the existing power relations. The policy of prestige assigns to the state the service of national interest, a phenomenon higher than the goals of universal peace. He is of the opinion that states, while seeking and enhancing power to talk about peace through limitation, within bracket, through disarmament, collective security, judicial settlement, invert comma close, peace through accommodation, through diplomacy, and peace through transformation, within bracket, through world state or international society. Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations, page 14.7. Roman 4b, New Realism. Words: New Realism, or what is sometimes called Structural Realism, is the most well-known version of New Realism. Although some might say Bujan's version is a better refinement, or one might say Gaddis' version is the most popular, New Realism is widely regarded as a more scientific approach than classical realism because it is capable of explaining puzzling behavior by states. The within inverted comma neo, inverted comma close, is the name of the theory reflects the belief that the structure of the international system itself, within bracket, rather than the power and status characteristics of actors in the system, bracket close, has the most influence on behavior, like the way market forces condition thinking, behavior and interactions. Words is also concerned with explaining why the anarchic international system tends to reproduce itself, and he provides three reasons. 1. The ordering principle of the system is anarchical or not hierarchical, hierarchical, and the absence of a central authority leads to a self-help system where states compete for survival and security through military power, regardless if they want to or not. 2. The functional differentiation of the anarchic system is such that each state is a separate and autonomous unit, forced to realize its interests on its own because within no one else can be counted on. Hence, all the important society functions must be performed by each state on its own. 3. The distribution of capabilities is unequal and shifting, defining the relative power of the states and predictive of variation in balance of power behavior. Under conditions of ubiquitous anarchy, like the assumption of continuous competition and conflict in realism, states only have two choices, balance or bandwagon, and states almost always choose balance in the long term, they bandwagon in the short term, wherever the system grows calm. This is because for nations, the power of others is always a threat, nor a lure, and times when the system grows calm is the time they move their pieces to balance the power of more powerful states. Although both realism and neorealism share a fundamental belief that actors will act competitively, realism and neorealism have different implications for nation security policy making. Realism leads to power-oriented strategies with power as an end in itself. Neorealism leads to security-oriented strategies based on the need to compete for society. There are differences also between the two theories in terms of the role of the uncertainty for war and peace. For realism, certainty leads to war, since relational pursuit of power simplifies calculations for war. Also, since bipolarity gives more certainty than multipolarity leads to peace in classical realist theory. For neorealism, certainly leads to peace, since with balance of power shifts, the world is made more anarchic and states tend to make more drastic measures such as peace to avoid miscalculation and reduce insecurity. Roman 4c, equilibrium theory. Equilibrium is a relationship among the forces operating upon or within an entity or group of entities, so that the whole manifests in some degree some form of stability. Quincy Reed, the study of for international relations, In international politics, the idea of equilibrium has been adopted by various writers. The names of George Liska, institutional equilibrium, and Morton Kaplan, systems and process in international politics, can be mentioned. Equilibrium is one of two types, static and dynamic. Under Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations, Roman 5, Theories, under Roman 5, Theories of International Relations, 4c, Equilibrium Theory, page 14.8. A state equilibrium may be defined as a self-maintaining system of automatic compensatory reactions to disturbance, restoring the original state. But if such an unfailing equilibrium operates anywhere, it is certainly not in the social realm. More realistic and at the same time more dynamic is the view of equilibrium mechanism as a state of relative stability. Two special meanings are given to the term. One is called the constitutional equilibrium and the second one is called the general equilibrium. The latter implies two ideas: that all elements in political system are functionally interdependent and that these elements are interrelated in a process of action and reaction which ultimately leads to the attainment of stability. The concept of constitutional equilibrium implies those conditions that are necessary for the existence of a constitutional order within a nation and for the maintenance of peaceful relations among nations. These conditions mostly refer to a relatively equal distribution of power so that no group or nation can dominate over others. Liska uses the term both as a theoretical norm and as something denoting an actual tendency towards changing states of temporary equilibrium in political institutions. The whole theory of equilibrium assumes that international relations tend towards stability and equilibrium, but it neglects the fact that efforts for equilibrium are likely to lead to change as well. Therefore, the concept of equilibrium, like that of the power, is both too narrow and too broad. It is too narrow because it neglects the purposes of actors and also because the process of change are left out. The concept is too broad as one has to distinguish between various types of equilibrium. Roman 4D, Decision Making Theory. Under Chapter 14, the Theories of International Relations. Chapter 4. Numerous at Chapter 4D under Chapter 4, Theories of International Relations. 4D, Decision Making Theory. Numerous advocates supporting the decision making approach to international relations. From time to time are Richard Cinder, H.W. Brack, Barton Sapin, William Ricker, James Robinson, Howard Simon, J.W. Barton, Graham Allison, Holsty, James Rusnew. This approach focuses inquiry on actors called decision makers and on the state. The actions of the state are seen through the actions of decision makers. It proceeds with the assumption that the key to political action lies in the way in which decision makers define their situation or setting, which can be internal and external. The internal setting includes personalities, roles, organizations in the decisional unit, the government at structures within which the decision maker functions, the physical and technological conditions, the basic values and goals, and the various influences operating in the society. The external setting includes all the relevant factors in the total situation of the international system existing at a particular time. Harold and Margaret Sprout, within bracket, Foundations of International Politics, bracket closed, emphasize on milieu, within inverted comma, or environmental factor, while Alexander and Juliet George, within bracket, Woodrow Wilson, Cornwall House, bracket closed, on personality factor. Intergovernmentalism is a theory of decision making in international organizations where power is possessed by the member states and decisions are made by unanimity. The independent appointees of the governments or elected representatives have solely advisory or implementation functions. Intergovernmentalism is used by most international organizations today. Roman 4E, Marxist theory. Marxist writings, scattered as these had been, do not give a clear theory of internationalism, though there have been numerous utterances here and there about international situation, such as proletarian international, world politics, wars among nations. What was clear was that Marx's orientation was international. Within inverted comma, workers have no fatherlands of their own, inverted comma close, or workers of the world unite, within inverted comma. Lenin, like Marx, addressed capitalism in respect of international situation and declared imperialism as the highest stage of capitalism. With Stalin first and the Chinese Marxists later, internationalism of Marxism had a severe setback. Gramsci, within bracket, prison notebooks, bracket closed, sought to shift the Marxian analysis towards superstructural phenomena operating through Gramscian hegemony. Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. Roman 4, Theories of International Relations. Under Roman 4, 4E, Marxist Theory, page 14.9. The critical theory and Frankfurt School advocates such as Horkheimer, Adorno, Marcuse, Habermas and like moved for exploitation to the young Marxist concept of emancipation. The dependency and this center-periphery theory constitute the neo-Marxist understanding of imperialism. Within bracket, Andre Gander Frank, Cardoso, Santos and the like, bracket closed. These brief description of the more mixed Marxian ideology did contain in academic version of its international relations theory, which can be summed up as follows. 1. Material factors, as within the life of a state, play a decisive role in international relations. Root cause of all battles and wars, of all conflicts and struggles, has been and is always material. 2. Class and not nations is the basic unit in international relations. What is described as the national interest is, in fact, the interest of the dominant possessing class in the nation. 3. Capitalism at the international level becomes imperialism. Imperialist nations fighting against one another for redistribution of the colonies. 4. Imperialism always leads to war. 5. Proletariats in their respective states would fight against the capitalists, would abolish capitalism lock, stock and barrel, and thereafter organize themselves at the international level. 4F, Roman 4F, Game Theory. The game theory of international relations is an attempt at applying mathematical model to international politics. Its advocates include Martin Schubik, Oscar Mongenstarm, Carl Dewes, Carl Dewes. It is a theory that helps explain and address social problems. It is a method of analysis and also of selecting the best course of action in a given situation. The theory envisages several types of games. The basic game is known as the, within inverted comma, two-person zero-sum game. It is game there are two players only and the victory and defeat cancels out each other. In this game, the struggle is decisive. The victor destroys the enemy. In, within inverted comma, constant sum, inverted comma, close game, both the players try to acquire equal advantage by mutual cooperation. In, within bracket, within inverted comma, non-zero sum, inverted comma, close game, there is both conflict and cooperation between the players. In this game, neither side loses, and both may win. 1. Game theory has 5 important concepts. These are: 1. Players or decision makers. 2. Strategies available to each player. 3. Rules governing players' behavior. 4. Outcomes, each of which is a result of particular choices made by players at a given point in the game. 5. Payoffs accrued by each player as a result of each possible outcome. These games assume that each player will pursue the strategies that help him or her to achieve the most profitable outcome in every situation. Games used to illustrate these relationships often place the interests of two players in direct oppositions. The greater the payoff for one players, the less for the other. In order to achieve a mutually productive outcome, the players must coordinate their strategies, because if each player pursues his or her greatest potential payoffs, the shared outcome is unproductive. This concept is the prisoner's dilemma game. These and other games illustrate the potential for cooperation to produce mutually beneficial outcomes. However, they also highlight the difficulties of obtaining cooperation among distrustful participants, because each player is tempted to pursue his or her individual interests. Cooperation requires that both players compromise and forego their universal wrong and forego their individual maximum payoffs. Yet, in compromising, each player risks complete loss if the opponent decides to seek his or her own maximum payoff rather than risking total loss. Players tend to prefer the less productive outcome. Chapter 14: Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. Under 4, Theories of International Relations, 4, Roman 4a, Game Theory continued. Page 14.10. In a hypothetical situation relating to the prisoner's dilemma, two accomplices to a crime are imprisoned, and they forge a pact to not betray one another and not confess to the crime. The severity of the punishment that each receives is determined not only by his or her behavior, but also by the behavior of his or her accomplice. The two prisoners are separated and cannot communicate with each other. Each is told that there are 4 possible outcomes. 1. If one confesses to the crime and turns in the accomplice, within bracket, defecting from a pact with the accomplice, bracket closed, his sentence will be reduced. 2. If one confesses while the accomplice does not, within bracket, that is, the accomplice cooperates with the pact to not betray each other, bracket closed, the first can strike a deal with the police and will be set free, but the information he provides will be used to incriminate his accomplice, who will receive the maximum sentence. 3. If both prisoners confess to the crime, within bracket, that is, both defect from their pact, bracket closed, then each receives a reduced sentence, but neither is set free. 4. If neither confesses to the crime, within bracket, that is, they cooperate, bracket closed, then each receives the minimum sentence because of the lack of evidence. These options may not be as attractive to either individual as the alternative of striking a deal with the police and being set free at the expense of one's partner. Since the prisoners cannot communicate with each other, the question of, within inverted comma, trust, bracket inverted comma close, whether to trust, within inverted comma, the other not to confess, is the critical aspect of his game. The game of chicken, are also known as the hawk dove game, is an hawk dove, spelling HAWK-DOVE game, is an influential model of conflict for two players in game theory. The principle of the game is that while each player prefers not to yield to the other, the outcome where neither player yields is the worst possible one for both players. The name chicken, within inverted comma, has its origins in a game in which two drivers drive towards each other on a collision course. One must swerve or both may lie in the crash. But if one driver swerves but the other does not, he/she would be called a chicken within inverted comma. This terminology is most prevalent in political science and economics. The name hawk dove refers to a situation in which there is a competition for a shared resource and the contestants can choose either reconciliation or conflict. This terminology is within inverted comma. This terminology wrong. This terminology is most commonly used in biology and evolutionary game theory. The game of chicken is similar to the prisoner's dilemma game in that and within inverted comma agreeable inverted comma close mutual solution is unstable since both the players are individually tempted to stray for meat. However, it differs in the cost of responding to such a deviation. This means that even in an iterated version of the game, retaliation is ineffective and a mixed strategy may be more appropriate. Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism. Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. 4, that is International Theories of International Relations. Page 14.11, Para 4G, Roman 4G, System Theory. The systematic approach to international politics emphasizes on the importance of the interaction of behavior of states. Its assumptions are that it is possible to find certain regular models of behavior within the structure of a political organization, that each subsystem affects the working of the larger system, that mutual relationship between two systems is to affect and the affected by the other. The advocates of this theory are James Rossana, within bracket International Politics and Foreign Policy, bracket closed. Kenneth Walsh, within bracket Man, the State and War, bracket closed. Kenneth Balding, within bracket Conflict and Defense, bracket closed. Charles McClelland, within bracket his article within inverted comma Application of General System Theory, inverted comma close, bracket close. Morton Kaplan, within inverted comma Systems and Process in International Politics. I repeat, Charles McClelland, within bracket his article within inverted comma Application of General System Theory, inverted comma close, bracket closed. Morton Kaplan, within inverted comma Systems and Process of International Politics, bracket closed, is one of the best exponents of the system theory. He refers to 6 models of international systems. The first is the balance of power system, whose operation has 6 rules. The same may be enumerated as follows. 1. Each state to increase its power without war. 2. The primary obligation of each national actor must be show itself by protecting its interests even at the risk of war. 3. One should not eliminate an essential national actor. 4. The national actor should oppose any coalition acquiring a preponderant position. 5. The national actor should prevent others from subscribing to supranational principle. 6. Defeated actor should be permitted re-entry into the system. The system worked well for 2 centuries as an absolute system and appeared as a rule of universal applicability. But since the beginning of the 20th century, these rules are not operating well. Consequently, the balance of power system has become inoperative. The second model, within bracket the Cold War model, is described by him as a bipolar system. The balance of power system may transform itself into bipolar system. Kaplan conceives of 2 types of bipolar systems, the loose bipolar system and the right bipolar system. In the former, each block has a leading actor. We have today loose bipolar system. Both supranational actors as well as national actors participate in the loose bipolar system. Supranational actors are divided into subclass of block actors like NATO and the Warsaw Bloc, and into universal actor like the United Nations. Loose bipolar system is characterized by two major block actors, non-member block actors and universal actor. It is a considerable degree of inherent instability. The loose bipolar system can easily be transformed into a tight bipolar system, the third model. In this system, non-aligned states or non-member national actors would either disappear or shall have little importance. Even universal actor shall not be in a position to mediate between the two block actors and may possibly cease to exist. The fourth model comes into existence when there is a universal international system. It would be possible when the United Nations become sufficiently strong to check war and the bipolar system has ceased to exist. It would be like a world federation with governmental powers, yet leaving sufficient autonomy to nation states. The fifth model is called hierarchical international system. It may come into existence when a universal actor absorbs the whole world and only one nation is left as the universal actor. In this system, national actors would be territorial subdivisions of the international system rather than independent political units. This system can be both directive or non-directive. It would be directive if it is formed as a result of world conquest by a national actor, but it would be non-directive if power is distributed among nations according to hierarchy under the overall domination of a single nation actor. The last system is the unit veto system. The essence of this system would be that all states will be equally able to destroy each other. The system is possible in a condition in which all actors shall possess weapons of such a nature that any actor is able to destroy another actor, even though at the risk of his own destruction. Page 14.11, Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. Exercises. Exercise 1. Nationalism is related to which of the following senses? A behavioral entity and a sentiment of loyalty. B. A theoretical entity and a sentiment of loyalty. C. A behavioral entity only. D. A sentiment of loyalty only. The correct answer is A behavioral entity and a sentiment of loyalty. Exercise 2. Political nationalism means A. That a nation exists to further its political goal. B. That a nation exists to seek regeneration and revival. C. That a nation exists to advance its ethnic exclusivity. D. That a nation exists to expand its social base. The correct answer is A. That a nation exists to further its political goal. Directions. The following questions relate to assertion A and reason R. Select the right code among the alternative ones. A and R are true. R is the correct explanation of A. B. A and R are true. R is not the correct explanation of A. C. A is true but R is false. And D. A is false, R is true. 3. Assertion A. A nation is the union of hearts. And reason R. A nation is spiritual concept than political. A and R are true. R is the correct explanation of A. B. A and R are true. R is not the correct explanation of A. C. A is true but R is false. D. A is false but R is true. The correct answer is 3A. That is, A and R are true. R is the correct explanation of A. 4. Exercise 4. Assertion A. Political nationalism of the liberal shade constitutes a nation with self-determination. Reason R. Self-determination is a right that makes a nation free and sovereign. A and R are true, R is the correct explanation of A. B, A and R are true, R is not the correct explanation of A. C, A is true but R is false. D, A is false but R is true. The correct answer is 4A. That is A and R are true, R is the correct explanation of A. Exercise 5. Assertion A. Expansionists. Nationalism seeks to go for all imperializations. Reason R. It is aggression personified. A and R are true, R is the correct explanation of A. B, A and R are true, R is not the correct explanation of A. C, A is true but R is false. D, A is false but R is true. The correct answer is 5A. That is A and R are true, R is the correct explanation of A. Exercise 56. Consider the following statements with regard to nationalism. 1. Nationalism is an attitude rather than an ideology. 2. Nationalism as an ideology is diverse, ethnic, cultural or political. 3. Political nationalism seeks to attain certain goals. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 and 2, B. 2 and 3, C. 1 and 3, and D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is D, that is 1, 2 and 3. 1. Nationalism is an attitude rather than an ideology. 2. Nationalism as an ideology is diverse, ethnic, cultural and or political. 3. Political nationalism seeks to attain certain goal. Exercise 7. Match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct 4. In the horizontal column, list 1, space list 2. Under list 1 in the vertical column, A. Berlin, B. Billing, C. Aaron and D. Barry. Under list 2 in the vertical column, 1. Culture and equality, 2. Peace and war, 3. Banal nationalism and 4. Vaiko and Herder. Code in the horizontal column, capital A space, capital B space, capital C space, capital D. Under capital A in the vertical column, against serial number A1, serial number B4, serial number C4, serial number D4. Against capital B, under capital B in the vertical column, against serial number A2, B1, C3, D3. Under capital C in the vertical column, against serial number A4, A3, B2, C1 and D2. Under capital C, under capital D in the vertical column, against serial number A4, B3, C2 and D1. The correct answer is D. That is under A, Berlin. 4, that is Vaiko and Herder. Under capital B, that is Billing. Under capital B, that is Billing. 3, that is Banal nationalism. Under capital C, that is Aaron. 2, that is peace and war. Under capital D, that is Barry. 1, that is culture and equality. I repeat, under list 1 in the vertical column, against serial number capital A Berlin, serial number capital B Billing, in the serial number capital C Aaron, serial number capital D Barry. Under list 2 in the vertical column, 1 culture and equality, 2 peace and war, C banal nationalism and 4 Vaiko and Herder. The correct answer is 4. Under capital A, that is Berlin. 4, that is Vaiko and Herder. Under capital B, that is Billing. 3, that is banal nationalism. Under capital C, that is Aaron. 2, that is peace and war. Under capital D, that is Barry. 1, that is culture and equality. Exercise 8. Which of the following does not match? A. Gilnar, nations and nationalism. B. Guns, the limits of nationalism. C. Himlika, unicultural citizenship. And D. Miller, on nationality. The correct answer is C. Himlika, unicultural citizenship. Himlika wrote multicultural citizenship. Exercise 9. Which of the following is not the book written by Kimlika. A. Multicultural citizenship. B. Nationalism. C. Politics in the vernacular. And D. The rights of the minority cultures. The correct answer is B, that is nationalism. Exercise 10. Which of the following does not match? A. Smith, nationalism. B. Taylor, sources of the self. C. Rawls, the law of the peoples. D. Habermas, between norms and facts. 10D. Habermas's work was between facts and norms. Exercise 11. Socialist internationalism is based on which type of solidarity? A. Human rights. B. Conservatism. C. Class. And D. Nationalism. The correct answer is C. Class. Exercise 12. Internationalism is a theory and practice of A. National cooperation. B. Class cooperation. C. Global cooperation. And D. Individual cooperation. The correct answer is C. That is global cooperation. Chapter 14. Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of National Relations. Page 14.12. Exercises. Exercise 13. Internationalism is not opposed to A. Ultranationalism, B. Globalization, C. Jingoism, and D. Chauvinism. The correct answer is B, that is globalization. Exercise 14. Which of the following was written by Palmer and Perkins? A. International relations. B. International politics. C. World politics. And D. The study of conflicts. The correct answer is A. That is international relations. Match list 1. Exercise 15. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column, list 1, space list 2. Under list 1 in the vertical column, A. Mahendra Kumar. B. Hartman. C. Barton. And D. Morgenthau. Under list 2 in the vertical column, again serial number 1, politics among nations. Serial number 2, theoretical aspects of international politics. Serial number 3, the relations of nations. Serial number 4, international relations. Code A, capital A, space in the horizontal column, in capital A, space capital B, space capital C, space capital D. Under capital A in the vertical column, again serial number A1, B2, C2, D2. Under capital B in the vertical column, again serial number A2, B3, C4, D1. Under capital C in the vertical column, again serial number A3, serial number B4, serial number C3, serial number D4. Under capital D in the vertical column, again serial number A4, B1, C1 and D3. The correct answer is B, that is under capital A, Mahendra Kumar, 2, that is theoretical aspects of international politics. Under capital B, Hartman, against 3, that is the relations of nations. Under serial number capital C, Barton, 4, that is international relations. Under serial number capital D, Morgenthau, 1, that is politics among nations. Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. Exercises, page 14.13. Exercise 16. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column, list 1, space list 2. Under list 1 in the vertical column, A. Walsh, B. Bolding, C. Gross, capital D. Schelling. Against list 2 in the vertical column, 1. Against serial number 1, Man, the State and War. Against serial number 2, Conflict and Defense. Against under list 2 in the vertical column, against serial number 3, Foreign Policy Analysis. Under list 2 in the vertical column, serial number 4, the study of conflicts. Quote, in the horizontal column, capital A, space capital B, space capital C, space capital D. Under capital A in the vertical column, against serial number A1, serial number B1, serial number C1, serial number D1. Against capital B in the vertical column, against serial number A2, B3, C4 and D2. Against serial number capital C in the vertical column, against serial number A3, B2, C2, 3 and D4. Against serial number capital D in the vertical column, against serial number A4, B4, C2 and D3. The correct answer is A, that is under A, Worlds, that is 1, Man, the State and War. B, Bolding, 2, that is Conflict and Defense. C, that is Gross, 3, Foreign Policy Analysis. D. Shelling. 4. That is the study of conflict. Exercise 17. Who wrote the condition of postmodernity? A. Schulte, B. Held, C. Harvey, and D. Giddens. The correct answer is Harvey. C. The correct answer is C, that is Harvey. Exercise 18. Assertion A. The interdependence and flows guaranteed by globalization have severely restricted the powers and scope of nation states. Reason R. World trade continues to be confined among the developed states in the world. A. Both A and R are true, but and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. C. A is true, but R is false. D. A is false, but R is true. The correct answer is C. That is, A is true, but R is false. Exercise 19. Which of the following is not a characteristic of globalization? A. Rapid flow of information, capital and goods. B. Removal of national barrier for the few removal of national barriers for the flow of labor. C. Networking of culture, economic and political relations. D. Global infrastructure of formal and information institution arrangements. The correct answer is B, that is global infrastructure of formal and information institution arrangements. Exercise 20. World Trade Organization within bracket WTO is not concerned with A. Trade and tariffs. B. Trade related to related investment or measures. C. Investment in knowledge-based industry. D. Trade related intellectuals. Trade related intellectual property rights. The correct answer is C, that is investment in knowledge-based industry. Exercise 21. Structural advertisement refers to a policy of A. Industrial policy reforms, price liberalizations, financial market reforms, reduction and removal of subsidies. B. Balancing of exports with imports. C. Shifting of 1% of the GNP of developed nations to the developing world. D. Balancing C. Shifting of 1% of the GNP of developed nations to the developing world. D. Balancing production and distribution between developed nation state and developing nation state. The correct answer is A. Industrial policy reforms, price liberalization, financial market reforms, reduction and removal of subsidies. Exercise 22. Regional economic integration under globalization is intense in the A. USA, European Community, Canada and Japan. B. USA, China and Europe. C. India, Europe and USA. D. Nigeria, South Africa, European country and USA. The correct answer is A. That is USA, European Community, Canada and Japan. Page 14.14, Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. Exercises. Exercise 23. The Uruguay round of talks of GATT led to the establishment of A. Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, B. NAFTA, C. Group of 77, D. World Trade Organization. The correct answer is D, that is World Trade Organization. Exercise 24. Consider the following statements. Globalization is characterized by 1. Social relations confined to nation states. 2. Rapid changes in information and communications. 3. Interdependence and intermixture of processes of production and culture. 4. A global infrastructure of communications, networks and financial institutions. Which of these are correct? A. 1 and 2, B. 1 and 3, C. 3 and 4, D. 2 and 3, 2, 3 and 4, D. 2, 3 and 4. The correct answer is D, that is 2, 3 and 4. 2. Rapid changes in information and communications. 3. That is interdependence and intermixture of processes of production and culture. 4. A global infrastructural communications networks and financial institutions. Which of these are correct? A 1 and 2, B 1 and 3, C 1, 3 and 4, and D 2, 3 and 4. The correct answer is 2, 3 and 4. 2. Rapid changes in information and communications. 3. Interdependence and intermixture of processes of production and culture. And 4. A global infrastructural communications networks and financial institutions. Exercise 25. Which of the following processes does not form part of structural adjustment? A. Loosening control over trade and tariff. B. Facilitating currency exchange. C. Leaving more room for the market in making investment decisions. D. Reorganizing the space skills of public sector employees. The correct answer is C, that is leaving more room for the market in making investment decisions. Exercise 26. Consider the following statements. 1. Economic issues could only be understood in the context of the political reality. 2. Political questions of resource ownership, power and distribution determine the process of development. 3. Production and distribution are closely related. Which of these was within were implied in the political economy approach of 1960s and 1970s? A. 1 only, B. 1 and 2 only, C. 2 and 3 only, and D. 1, 2 and 3. That is, correct answer is D, that is 1, 2 and 3. Economic issues could only be understood in the context of the political reality. 2. Political questions of resource ownership, power and distribution determine the process of development. 3. Production and distribution are closely related. Question 27. Which of the following is not a central argument of the neoliberalism? A. Market makes optimum use of resources. B. For strengthening the range of choice, enabling resources should be provided to individuals and groups. C. A planned economy is inefficient and wasteful. D. Appropriation of knowledge and technology into production and use is immediate and more effective in an economy dominated by the private sector. The correct answer is C, that is, a planned economy is inefficient and wasteful. Exercise 28. Consider the following with respect to globalizing the world. 1. Satellite technology. 2. New modes of information and communications. 3. Rise of new financial institutions. 4. Development of a global civil society. The correct answer, the proposed answers are A 1 and 2, B 2 and 3, C 1, 3 and 4, D 1, 2, 3 and 4. The correct answer is 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1. Satellite technology. 2. New models of information and communication. 3. Rise of new financial institutions. And 4. Development of a global civil society. Assertion, exercise 29. Assertion A. The demand for a new international economic order called for a restructuring of the world economy to bridge the gap between rich and poor countries of the world. Reason are, very many specific demands have been fulfilled due to that positive response of the countries. A. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. C. A is true, but R is false. D. A is false, but R is true. The correct answer is A. That is, both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Exercise 30. New Marxists view the economic globalization as A. Equalitarian process, B. Development process, C. Hierarchical process, and D. Uneven hierarchical process. The correct answer is C, that is hierarchical process. Exercise 31. According to Keohane and me, the internationalization of the world economy had led the major industrialized nations to a pattern of A. Complex interdependence, B. Complex dependence, C. Dependence, and D. Interdependence. The correct answer is A, that is complex interdependence. Complex interdependence. Page 14.15, chapter 14, nationalism, internationalism, globalization, and theory of international relations. Exercises. Exercise 32. Non-security issues have taken priority over force, violence and military might because of A. Modernizations of the world political and communication system. B. Modernization of the world political and economic system. C. Transnationalization of the world economic and political system. D. Decentralization of the world economic and political system. The correct answer is B, that is modernization of the world political and economic system. Exercise 33. China has moved away from the policy of statism to market economy, which was propounded by one of the communist leaders of revolution who said, within inverted comma, market in China is like a bird in the cage. Identify the persons. A. Zhou Enlai. B. Liu Shaoqi. D. C. Deng Xiaoping, and D. Chiang Kai-shek. The correct answer is C, that is Deng Xiaoping. Exercise 34. The concept of sustainable development was popularized by Brundtland Report and Report of the World Commission on Environment and Development in A. 1991, B. 1992, C. 1993, and D. 1995. The correct answer is B, that is 1992. Exercise 35. The policy of structural adjustment was initially mooted by A. Dr. Manmohan Singh, B. Third world countries, C. United States and other developed countries, and D. IMF and World Bank. The correct answer is D, that is IMF and World Bank. Exercise 36. Which of the following were the original objectives of SAARC, SAARC? 1. Promotion of the welfare of people of South Asia through acceleration of economic growth, social progress and cultural development. 2. Strengthening cooperation with other developing states. 3. Strengthening cooperation with other regional organizations. 4. Promotion of regional peace and security. A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 1, 2, 3 and 4, C. 1 and 4, and D. 4 only. The correct answer is A, that is 1, 2 and 3. 1. Promotion of the welfare of people of South Asia through acceleration of economic growth, social progress and cultural development. 2. Strengthening connection with other developing states. 3. Strengthening cooperation with other regional organizations. Exercise 37. Which of the following is not a regional economic organization? A. OAS, B. ASEAN, ASEAN, C. SAARC, and D. ECOWAS, ECOWAS. The correct answer is A, that is OAS. Exercise 38. The North American Free Trade Area includes A. Mexico, USA and Canada, and B. Canada, Venezuela and Brazil, C. USA and Canadian. Exercise 38. The North American Free Trade Area includes A. Mexico, USA and Canada, B. Canada, Venezuela and Brazil, C. USA, UK and Canada, B. Colombia, USA and Argentina. The correct answer is A, that is Mexico, USA and Canada. Exercise 39. Which one of the following first initiated the process of regional economic integration? A. Arabic League, B. Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, C. Organization of American States, D. European Coal and Steel Author Community. The correct answer is A, that is Arab League. Exercise 40. Match list 1 within bracket WTO Ministerial Conference with list 2 within bracket specific outcome, bracket close. In the horizontal column, list 1 space list 2, under list 1 in the vertical column, against capital serial number capital A 1996 Singapore, against serial number capital B 1998 Geneva, against serial number capital C 1999 Seattle, against capital D 2001 Doha, against under list 2 in the vertical column Against serial number 1, standstill agreement on e-commerce. Against serial number 2, implementation problems, investment, competition, transparency in government. Pro-government trade facilitation. Exercise under list 2 in the vertical column. Against serial number 3, agreement on information technology, introduction of new issues. 4, market access, agriculture, services, trade facilitation, e-commerce. The correct answer is C, that is under A. A means 1996 Singapore. 3, that is agreement on information technology, introduction of new issues. Under capital B, that is 1998 Geneva. That is 2, that is implementation problems, investment, competition, transparency in government procurement, trade facilitation. Under capital C, that is 1999 Seattle. 4, that is market access, agriculture services, trade facilitation and e-commerce. Under capital D, 2001 Doha. 1, that is standstill agreement on standstill agreement on e-commerce. Exercise 41. Which one of the following is the correct chronological sequence of the given rounds of trade negotiations? A, Doha round, Uruguay round, Tokyo round, Kennedy round. B, Kennedy round, Tokyo round, Uruguay round, Doha round. C, Doha round, Tokyo round, Uruguay round, Kennedy round. D, Kennedy round, Doha round, Uruguay round and Tokyo round. The correct answer is B, that is Kennedy round, Tokyo round, Uruguay round and Doha round. Exercise 42. Globalization means connectivity. One of the type of connectivity is etho-related. This means A, movement of the people. B, global flow of commodity markets. C, global spreading of ideas and ideologies. And D, movement of technologies. The correct answer is A, that is movement of the people. Exercise 43. Globalization relates to the worldwide phenomenon of technological, economic and cultural charge. This was possible due to A, isolated cultures, B, nationalism, C, interdependence and D, poverty. The correct answer is C, that is interdependence. Exercise 44. The concept of global village includes 1, contact between different parts of the world. 2, increasing possibilities of personal exchange. 3, mutual conflicts. And 4, mutual benefits. A, 1, 2, 3, B, 1, 2, 4, C, 1, 3, 4 and D, 2, 3, 4. The correct answer is C, that is 1, 3, 4. 1, contact between different parts of the world. 3, mutual conflicts. And 4, mutual benefits. Exercise 45. Economic globalization does not refer to A, flow of goods and services. B, flow of cultures. C, flow of capital and D, flow of technology. The correct answer is B, that is flow of cultures. Exercise 46. It is assumed that globalization is helping capitalism spreading from the developed nations for the 1, European nations, B, African nations, C, developing nations and D, Asian nations. The correct answer is C, that is developing nations. Exercise 47. Which round helped create the World Trade Organization? A, Doha round, B, Uruguay round, C, Tokyo round and D, Kennedy round. The correct answer is C, that is Uruguay round. Exercise 48. Globalization expects the increasing role of which international organizations? A, UNESCO, B, IMF, C, WHO and D, UNICEF. The correct answer is B, that is IMF. Exercise 49. Which of the following statements with regard to GATT, within bracket the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, bracket closed, are correct? 1, it has helped reduce tariffs. 2, it has helped reduce transportation costs. 3, it has helped reduce losses of the trading corporations. 4. It has helped reduce subsidies. The correct answer, the proposed answers are A 1, 2, 3, B 2, 1, 2, 4, C 2, 3, 4, and D 1, 3, 4. The correct answer is A, that is 1, 2, 3. 1. It has helped reduce tariffs. 2. It has helped reduce transportation cost. 3. It has helped reduce losses of the trading corporations. The proposed answer is A 1, 2, 3, B 1, 2, 4, C 2, 3, 4, and D 1, 3, 4. The correct answer is 1, 2, 3. That is 1. It has helped reduce tariffs. 2. It has helped reduce transportation cost. 3. It has helped reduce losses of the trading corporations. Exercise 50. Assertion A. Globalization is internationalization of economics. And R. It is for flow of goods and services from one nation to the other, nations with least restrictions. A and R are true, R is the correct explanation of A. B, A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. C, A is true, R is false. D, A is false, R is true. The correct answer is A, that is A and R are true, R is the correct explanation of A. Page 14.17. Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. Exercise 51. Exercises. Exercise 51. Assertion A. In terms of economics, globalization is a history of increasing trade between nations and with minimal friction. Reason R. In terms of culture, globalization is the creation of global civilization. A and R are true. A and R are true. R is the correct explanation of A. B, A and R are true. R is not the correct explanation of A. C, A is true. R is false. D, A is false. R is true. The correct answer is B. That is A and R are true. R is the correct explanation of A. No, wrong. Repeat. Correct answer is B. That is A and R are true. R is not the explanation of A. Correct answer is B. That is A and R are true. R is not the explanation of A. Exercise 52. Which of the following is not true about globalization economically? A. Development of global financial system. B. Development of nationalistic sovereignties. B. C. Increased role of international organizations such as WTO and IMF. D. Increase in international trade as faster rate. The correct answer is B. That is development of nationalistic sovereignties. Exercise 53. The term globalization was coined by A. Robertson. B. Kaplan. C. Burton. D. Spiro. The correct answer is A. That is Robertson. Exercise 54. Globalization refers to A process whereby the local is integrated into global. Global is within inverted comma. B. A process whereby the within inverted comma global is integrated into local. C. A process through which the two terms are integrated very rarely. D. A process whereby the word within inverted comma national connects with the within inverted comma local and within inverted comma global. The correct answer is A. A process whereby the local is integrated into global. Exercise 55. Anti-globalization as opposed to globalization has been used by numerous activists. Which of the following is such an activist? A. Noam Chomsky. B. Kautsky. C. Trotsky. And B. Blavatsky. The correct answer is A. Noam Chomsky. Exercise 56. The anti-globalization activities fear that globalization would lead to A. Benefiting the rich at the expense of the poor. B. Benefiting the poor at the expense of the rich. C. Benefiting the rich at the poor and the poor turn by turn. D. Benefiting both the rich and the poor simultaneously. The correct answer is A. Benefiting the rich at the expense of the poor. Exercise 57. As an international body, the World Trade Organization within bracket WTO sets the rules for the A. Global disarmament system. B. Global trading system, C. Global technological system, and D. Global cultural system. The correct answer is B, that is global trading system. Exercise 58. WTO's headquarters is at A. Paris, B. London, C. Geneva, and D. New York. The correct answer is C, that is Geneva. Exercise 59. As of December 2005, the membership of WTO stood at A. 180, B. 170, C. 160, and D. 150. The correct answer is D, that is 150. Exercise 60. WTO was the outcome of A. General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, B. General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs, C. General Agreement on Trade in Services, D. General Agreement on Trade related aspects. The correct answer is A, that is General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. Exercise 61. WTO came to be established in A. 1995, B. 1996, C. 1997, and D. 1998. The correct answer is A, that is 1995. Exercise 62. Consider the following principle of WTO. 1. Trading system should be discrimination free. 2. It should be relatively competitive. 3. It should be selectively accommodating to developed countries. 4. It should be relatively accommodating for the less developed countries. Which of these principles are correct? A. 1, 2, 3, B. 1, 3, 4, C. 1, 2, 3, and D. 2, 3, 4. The correct answer is C, that is 1, 2, and 4. 1. Trading system should be discrimination free. 2. It should be relatively competitive. 4. It should be relatively accommodating for the less developed countries. Exercise 63. Which of the following statements with regard to WTO are correct? 1. It helps promote free trade. 2. It helps stimulate economic growth. 3. It helps provide a helping hand to globalization effects. 4. It helps make rich poorer and poor the richer. A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 2, 3 and 4, C. 1, 3 and 4, D. 1, 2 and 4. The correct answer is 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is 1, 2 and 3. It helps promote free trade. 2. It helps stimulate economic growth. 3. It helps provide a helping hand to globalization effects. 4. It helps make rich poorer and poor the richer. The correct answer is A, that is 1, 2, 3. The proposed answer is A, 1, 2, 3, B, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 1, 3, 4, and D, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. The correct answer is A, that is 1, 2, 3. 1. It helps promote free trade. 2. It helps stimulate economic growth. 3. It helps provide a helping hand to globalization effect. Exercise 64. The European Union within bracket EU was established in A. 1992, B. 1993, C. 1994, and D. 1995. The correct answer is A, that is 1992. Exercise 65. EU, European Union, does not resemble like A federation to promote trade, environmental, social, economic policy. B. A confederation to protect home affairs. C. A nation state to promote national interest. D. An international organization to take care of foreign affairs. The correct answer is C, that is a nation state to promote national interest. Exercise 66. As of now, EU consists of following member states of Europe: A 20, B 25, C 30, and D 35. The correct answer is B, that is 25. Exercise 67. EU, European Union, does not have A common trade policy, B a common agricultural policy, C a common national policy, and D a common fisheries policy. The correct answer is C, that is a common national policy. Exercise 68. Which of the following countries have joined European Union in 2007? 1. Latvia and Lithuania, B. Slovakia and Slovenia, and C. Bulgaria and Romania, and D. East Germany and West Germany. The correct answer is C, that is Bulgaria and Romania. Exercise 69. Which of the following is not institution of EU, European Union? A. European Cabinet, B. European Parliament, C. European Commission, and D. European Council. The correct answer is A, that is European Cabinet. Exercise 70. Put the following treaties in chronological order which led to the function of EU. 1. Treaty of Rome, 2. Treaty of Maastricht, and 3. Treaty of Paris, and 4. Merger of treaty. A. 3142, B. 1324, C. 4231, and D. 1234. The correct answer is A, that is 3142. 3. Treaty of Paris, 1. Treaty of Rome, 4. Merger treaty, 2. Treaty of Maastricht. Exercise 71. Asian ASEAN was formed in A. 1965, B. 1966, C. 1967, and D. 1968. The correct answer is C, that is 1967. Exercise 72. Which of the following was not the founding member of ASEAN? A. Vietnam, B. Malaysia, C. Thailand, and D. Indonesia. The correct answer is A, that is Vietnam. Exercise 73. Asian Declaration forming ASEAN is also known as A. Singapore Declaration, B. Manila Declaration, C. Bangkok Declaration, and D. Kuala Lumpur Declaration. The correct answer is C, that is Bangkok Declaration. Exercise 74. How many formal summits of ASEAN have been held up to 2006? A. 10, B. 11, C. 12, and D. 14. The correct answer is C, that is 12. 75. ASEAN arose as a reaction against A. European expansionism, B. Communist expansionism, C. Capitalist expansionism, and D. American expansionism. The correct answer is B, that is communist expansionism. Page 14.18. Chapter 14. Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization, and Theories of International Relations. Exercise 76. Which of the following combinations constitute the dialogue partners of ASEAN? A. Indonesia and Malaysia, B. China and India, C. Myanmar and Cambodia, D. Laos and Thailand. The correct answer is B, that is China and India. Exercise 77. Which is the largest additional member of SAARC? A. Myanmar, B. Bangladesh, C. Afghanistan, and D. Iran. The correct answer is C, that is Afghanistan. Exercise 78. SAARC was established in A. 1984, B. 1985, C. 1986, and D. 1987. The correct answer is B, that is 1985. 79. Exercise 79. Assertion A. SAARC is a body of religion cooperation. B. Reason R. It helps to promote cooperation in the fields of disarmament. A and R are true, R is the correct explanation of A. B, A and R are true, R is not the correct explanation of A. C, A is true, R is false. And D, A is false, R is true. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is C, that is A is true, R is false. Exercise 80. Exercise 80, that is, which of the following is not included in the areas of SAARC cooperation? A. Agricultural development, B. Health and population, B. Urban development, D. Women, youth and children. The correct answer is D, that is women, youth and children. Exercise 81. Which of the following statements with regard to SAARC are correct? 1. China and Japan are observer states countries. 2. Afghanistan has been made a member of SAARC. 3. Development funds under a single financial institution is being proposed. 4. The above institution will cover non-SAARC program. A 1, 2, 3, B 1, 2, 3, A 1, 2, 3, B 1, 2, 4, C 1, 3, 4, and D 2, 3, 4. The correct answer is 1, 2, and 3. 1. China and Japan are observer states countries. 2. Afghanistan has been made a member of SAARC. And 3. Development funds under a single financial institution is being proposed. Page 14.19. Exercise chapter 14. Nationalization, nationalism, internationalism, globalization, and theories of international relations. Exercises. Exercise 82. Assertion R. According to Morganthus realism, a foreign policy based on any other consideration except the national interest is bound to meet failure. Reason R. Morganthus does not precisely define national interest. A. Both A and R are true and R is the correct expression of A. B. Both A and R are true but R is not the correct expression of A. C. A is true but R is false. D. A is false but R is true. The correct answer is B, that is both A and R are true but R is not the correct expression of A. Exercise 83. The cybernetic approach to the study of politics was first applied by A. Hans Morganthau, B. Robert Wellner, C. Arthur Bentley, and D. Carl Diess. The correct answer is D, that is Carl Diess. Exercise 84. Which one of the following is not the characteristic of the right bipolar system? A. Each of the two by blocks is led by leading power. B. Supranational as well as national actors participate in the system. C. Non-aligned states either disappear or will have no importance. D. The universal actor becomes ineffective or may cease to exist. The correct answer is B, that is supranational as well as national actors participate in the system. Exercise 85. The chicken model and the prisoner's dilemma model are used in the A. Marxist theory of international relations, B. Realist theory of international politics, C. Systems theory of international politics, and D. Game theory of international politics. The correct answer is D, that is game theory of international politics. Exercise 86. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column, list 1 space list 2. Under list 1, theories. Under list 2, concepts. Under list 1 and theories in the vertical column, against serial number capital A, Marxian theory, and serial number capital B, realist theory, and serial number capital C, decision making theory, against serial number capital D, game theory. Again, under list 2 and concepts, under list 2 and concepts in the vertical column, against serial number 1, payoff, 2, environment, and 3, power, and 4, class struggle. 4. In the horizontal column, capital A space capital B space capital C space capital D. Under capital A in the vertical column, against serial number A3, B4, C3, D4. Under capital B in the vertical column, against serial number A4, B3, C4, D3. Under capital C in the vertical column, against serial number A2, B2, C1, D1. Under capital D in the vertical column, against serial number A1, B1, C2 and D2. The correct answer is B, that is under serial number capital A, Marxian theory, 4, that is class struggle. Under B, that is under capital B, realist theory, 3, that is power. Under capital C, that is decision making theory, 2, that is environment. Under capital D, game theory, 1, that is payoff. Exercise 87. Consider the following. Next time balance of power refers to among several nations with approximate equality. 1. An actual state of affairs in which power is distributed among several nations with approximate equality. 2. An implicit understanding among several rulers of great powers that the perpetuation of the existing power distribution benefits them mutually. 3. A situation in which nuclear powers threaten mutual annihilation. 4. A just equilibrium in power among the members of the family of nations. Which of the following statements are correct? A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 1, 3 and 4, C. 1, 2 and 4, and D. 2, 3 and 4. The correct answer is 1, 2 and 4. 1. An actual state of affairs in which power is distributed among several nations with approximate utility. 2. An implicit understanding among several rulers of great powers that the perpetuation of the existing power distribution benefits them mutually. 4. A just equilibrium in power among the members of the family of nations. Exercise 88. Which of the following postulates is not propounded by Hans J. Morgenthau? A. The master key of realist theory is the concept of interest defined in terms of power. B. States are the principal actors in international politics. C. Power is man's control over the minds and activities of other men. D. Nations employ power to further the good life of their citizens and their citizens alone. The correct answer is D. Nations employ power to further the good life of their citizens and their citizens alone. The correct answer is D. Exercise 89. The realist theory in international relations is based on the three assumptions. Which of the following is not the basic assumptions? A. Statesmen desire and pursue their national interests. B. In pursuit of national interests, statesmen takes into account moral principles. C. National interest of each state lies in the expansion of the influence. D. States use their power of influence in the protection and promotion of their interests. The correct answer is B. In pursuit of national interests, statesmen takes into account moral principles. Exercise 90. Which of the following is not the working principles of balance of power of Morton Kaplan's general systems approach? A. The nations oppose any one nation or a coalition from acquiring a preponderant position. B. Each nation seeks to increase its power without war. C. A defeated nation is not permitted to entry into the system. D. Every nation seeks to protect its national interests even at the risk of war. The correct answer is C. That is, a defeated nation is not permitted re-entry into the system. A defeated nation is not permitted to entry into the system. Exercise 91. Which of the following statement is not correct regarding the different reduced space between the loose bipolar system and the tight bipolar system as defined by Morton Kaplan? A. The non-block national actors and universal actors which play important roles in the loose bipolar system would either disappear or cease to be significant in the tight bipolar system. B. The non-block rational actors and universal actors, which are the essential parts of the loose bipolar system, would disappear completely under the light bipolar system. C. Only the non-block national actors would either disappear or cease to be significant under the tight bipolar system. D. Only the universal actors would either disappear or play as an inconsequential role. The correct answer is C. Only the non-block national actors would either disappear or cease to be significant under the tight bipolar system. Exercise 92. The line adopted by Harold Sprout and Margaret Sprout in the decision-making approach lays A. Equal emphasis on the personality and environmental factor. B. Greater emphasis on the environmental factor. C. Greater emphasis on the personality factor. D. No emphasis on the personality as well as environmental factors. Correct answer is B. That is, greater emphasis on the environmental factor. Exercise 93. Which of the following is not among the three main characteristics of decision making as asserted by Richard C. Cinder? A. Sphere of competition. B. Communication and information. C. Litigation. D. Motivation. The correct answer is D. C. The correct answer is C. That is litigation. Exercise 94. Consider the following. Every nation is always uncertain whether the other nation would go by rational behavior or by irrational behavior. It is rarely possible to depend upon the honest intentions of others. Therefore, nations do not generally behave in a rational way. Which of the following models applies in this situation? A. Zero-sum game. B. N% zero-sum game. C. Chicken game. And D. Prisoner's dilemma. The correct answer is D. That is prisoner's dilemma. Exercise 95. Who among the following does not agree on the central importance of the state in international relations? A. Pluralists. B. Realists. C. Neo-realists. And D. Structural realists. The correct answer is A. That is pluralists. Exercise 96. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column list 1 and space list 2. Under list 1 theory, under list 2 exponent. Under list 1 and theory, in the vertical column against exercise serial number A, decision making, serial number B, game theory, serial number C, realist theory, and serial number D, systems theory. Under list 2 and exponent, in the against serial number 1, Martin Shubik, against serial number 2, John Barton, against serial number 3, Morton Kaplan, against serial number 4, Hans J. Morgenthau. The code in the horizontal column, capital A, space capital B, space capital C, space capital D, under capital A, that is 2, under capital A, that is decision making, 2 means John Barton. Under capital C, B, under capital B, that is game theory, that is 1, that is Martin Shubik. Under capital C, that is realist theory, 4, that is Hans J. Morgenthau. Under capital D, that is systems theory, 3, that is Morton Kaplan. Exercise 97. Assertion A. System theory is criticized for its alleged ideological basis in favor of status quo. Reason R. Systems theory stresses upon notions of stability, equilibrium, speedy state, and pattern maintenance. A. Both A and R are individually true, and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are individually true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. C. A is true, but R is false. D. A is false, but R is true. The correct answer is A. That is, both A and R are true, individually true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Exercise 98. Assertion A. Decision-making theory directs attention not to states as metaphysical abstractions, but instead seeks to highlight the behavior of decision makers. Reason R. Decision-making theory identifies a large number of relevant variables and suggests possible interrelationships among them. A. Both A and R are true, individually true, and R is the correct expression of A. B. Both A and R are true, are individually true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. C. Both A is true, but R is false. D. A is false, but R is true. The correct answer is 98A. Both A and R are individually true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Exercise 99. Assertion A. In assessing power today, technology, education, and economic growth are becoming more important than military right. Reason R. Sources of power are never static and are always in a state of flux. A. Both A and R are individually true, and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are individually true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. C. A is true, but R is false. D. A is false, but R is true. The correct answer is B. That is, both A and R are true, individually true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Exercise 100. The ideal of internationalism involves A. Total abandonment of nationalism, B. Partial abandonment of nationalism, and C. Adequate recognition of cultural distinctiveness of nations, D. Recognition of cultural distinctiveness. The correct answer is C. That is, adequate recognition of cultural distinctiveness of distinctiveness of nations. Correct. I repeat, once more. The correct answer is C, that is adequate recognition of cultural distinctiveness of nations. D, recognition of cultural distinctiveness. The correct answer is C, that is adequate recognition of cultural distinctiveness of nations. Exercise 101. Marxian view treats international politics as an extension of class war in A. Global perspectives, B. National perspectives, C. Societal perspectives, and D. None of the above. The correct answer is C, that is societal perspective. That is societal perspective. Exercise 102. Consider the following statements. 1. System theory is the result of the behavioral revolution in social science. 2. There is a universally acceptable definition of a system. 3. System theory aims at the unification of science and scientific analysis. Which of these statements is are correct? A. 1 and 3, B. 1 and 2, C. 2 and 3, D. 3 only. The correct answer is A, that is 1 and 3. That is 1. System theory is the result of the behavioral revolution in social science. And 3. That is, system theory aims at the unification of science and scientific analysis. Exercise 103. The correct sequence in game theory is A. Game, choice, player, equilibrium. B. Payoff, strategies, systems, game. C. Payoff, choice, player, game. D. Systems, equilibrium, game, player. The correct answer is A, that is game, choice, player, equilibrium. 104. Which of the following 10 statements is not correct? A. Diplomacy is an instrument of foreign policy. B. Major international agreements are usually negotiated by foreign ministers. C. Diplomats do not play now as great a role in international negotiations as they once did. D. Diplomats now get greater latitude than they enjoyed during 19th century. The correct answer is D, that is, diplomats now get greater latitude than they enjoyed during 19th centuries. Exercise 105. Which of the following does not contribute to the formation of international government? A. Expansion of international trade. B. Establishment of international organization. C. Interstate rivalry. And D. Means of communication. The correct answer is C, that is interstate rivalry. And exercise 106. In his realistic theory of international politics, Morgenthau's autonomy of political sphere denotes A. Authority of the state in international sphere. B. Autonomy of the decision makers vis-a-vis the legislature. C. Autonomy of the political action in complete disregard to other standards of thought. D. Autonomy of the policy makers vis-a-vis other agencies of organs of the government. The correct answer is C, that is autonomy of the political action in complete disregard to other standards of thought. 107. Exercise 107. The Marxists perceive international politics as A. struggle for power between the bourgeois and socialist systems with the hope of inevitable tyranny of international proletarianism. B. A struggle for power between two nations or group of nations that can be managed by maintaining balances of power. C. Interactions among states that can be peaceful. D. Interactions among states guided and molded by leaders of those states. The correct answer is A, that is a struggle of power between the bourgeois and socialist systems with the hope of inevitable tyranny of international proletarianism. Chapter 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. Exercises, page 14.23. Exercise 108. Decision-making theorists focus on A. Foreign policy decisions made by state. B. Impact of domestic politics on foreign policy decisions. C. Specific decisions makers who speak and act in the name of state. And D. Actual or objective environment that influence foreign policy decisions. Correct answer is D. that is actual or objective environment that influence foreign policy decisions. Exercise 109. Who among the following is the pioneer of the theory of new realism? A. Kenneth Waltz, B. Hans Morgenthau, and B. C. Barry Bujan, and D. Raoul Prebisch. The correct answer is A. Kenneth Waltz. Exercise 110. In the positive sum game, A. What one actor wins, the other losses. B. Gains and losses are not necessarily equal, and both the sides may gain. C. Gains and losses are necessarily equal, and both the sides may gain. D. Both the actors lose. The correct answer is B, that is, gains and losses are not necessarily equal, and both the sides may gain. Exercise 111. Schelling's concepts of mixed motive game richly embodies A. Political and economic points of view, B. Cultural and ideological points of view, C. Physiological and sociological points of view, D. Strategic and military points of view. The correct answer is C, that is psychological, that is psychological and sociological points of view. Exercise 112. Central feature of Immanuel Wallerstein's work is A. World system, B. Nation, C. Regional systems, and D. Underdevelopment. The correct answer is A, that is world system. Exercise 130. Which among the following scholars propounded the systems approach towards the study of international relations? A. David Eston, B. Gabriel Almond, C. McClelland, and D. J.W. Barton. The correct answer is C, that is C. McClelland. Exercise 114. Which of the following approaches or model of international politics does not give importance to the role of state as an actor? A. Dependency model, B. Realist model, C. Neo-realist model, and D. Interdependence pluralist model. The correct answer is A, that is dependency model. Exercise 115. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column, list 1 space list 2, under list 1 within bracket scholar, under list 2 theory oblique approach. Under list 1 and scholar in the vertical column, against serial number capital A Morgenthau, serial number capital B Barnard Cohen, serial number capital C Morton Kaplan, and serial number capital D Emil Dart. Under list 2 and theory and approach, against serial number 1 systems theory, serial number 2 game theory, serial number 3 decision making theory approach, and serial number 4 realist schools. Quote within in the horizontal column, A capital A space capital B space capital C space capital D, under capital A in the vertical column, against serial number A4 B2 C4 D2, under capital B in the vertical column, against serial number A3 B1 C1 D3, under capital C in the vertical column, against serial number A1 B3 C3 D1, under capital D in the vertical column, against serial number A3 B2 C2 and D4. The correct answer is A, that is under capital A Morgenthau. 4, that is realist school, under capital B Barnard Cohen. 3, that is decision making approach, under capital C Morton Kaplan. 1, that is systems theory, under capital D Emil Dart. 2, that is game theory. Exercise 116. Which country was appointed the first chairman of Decolonization Committee of the United Nations? A. USA, B. Sweden, C. India, and D. Japan. The correct answer is C. India. Exercise 117. Which of the following statements in respect of the general systems theory is oblique R are correct? 1. The general systems theory is highly attractive from the standpoint A. Empirical research. 2. The theory has been criticized for failing to adequately cater for concepts such as political power and influence. A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both N and 2, and D. neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is 1 only. Page 14.24. Chapter 14. Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization, and Theories of International Relations. Exercise number 118. Assertion A. Marxist theory of international relation is less of a theory and more of a perspective towards understanding of international relations. Reason are, though Karl Marx has written extensively and he has been identified as a great theorist and philosopher of the modern times, yet he did not put forward a theory of international relations like Morgenthau, Kaplan and Cinder. Both A and R are individually true and R is the correct explanation of A. Both A and R are individually true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. C. A is true, but R is false. D. A is false, but R is true. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is B, that is both A and R are individually true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Exercise 119. Assertion A. The decision-making theory was developed especially in the realm of foreign policy making. Reason are, it concentrates focuses on the person shaping international events rather than on the international situation. Both A and R are individually true and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are individually true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. C. A is true, but R is false. D. A is false, but R is true. The correct answer is A, that is both A and R are individually true and R is the correct explanation of A. Exercise 120. What term do we use to describe the model that deals with a conflict situation where all the rivals are to benefit in different degrees? A. Malign conflict situation. B. Benign conflict situation. C. Zero-sum situation. And D. Non-zero-sum situation. The correct answer is C, that is zero-sum situation. Exercise 101. In Morgenthau's realist theory, power is not only regarded as a tool of analysis, it is also considered as a guide to A. Peace prospects, B. Policy matters, C. Global institutions, and D. Traditional values. The correct answer is B, that is policy matters. Exercise 122. Power theory of international policies does not emphasize on A. Universal diplomatic principles, B. Universal moral principles, C. Universal national principles, and D. Universal economic principles. The correct answer is B, that is universal moral principles. Exercise 123. Which of the following is the basic assumption of Morgenthau's realist approach? A. Pursuing national interest, B. Pursuing mankind's interest, C. Pursuing global economic interest, and D. Pursuing peace interest. The correct answer is A, but that is pursuing national interest. Exercise 124. Which of the following is not the advocate of the realist approach to international politics? A. Spikeman, B. Wolfers, C. Kennan, and D. Kaplan. That is correct answer is D, that is Kaplan. Exercise 125. Which of the following is regarded as the father of the realist approach? A. Morgenthau, B. Thompson, C. Neighbor, and D. Schumann. The correct answer is Neighbor. Exercise 126. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column, list 1 space list 2, under list 1 scholar, under list 2 approach. Under list 1 and scholar, in the vertical column, against capital serial number capital A, Kaplan, capital B, Quincy Wright, capital C, against serial number capital C, George Liska, against capital D, Martin Shubnik. Under list 2 and approach, in the vertical column, against serial number 1 equilibrium, serial number 2 system, serial number 3 game, serial number 4 power. Port, in the horizontal column, capital A space capital B space capital C space capital D, under A against serial number A3, B2, C4, D4. Under B, capital B in the vertical column, against serial number A1, B4, C3, D3. Under capital C in the vertical column, against serial number 4, against serial number A4, against serial number A4, B1, C1 and D2. Under capital D in the vertical column, again serial number A2, B3, C2 and D1. The correct answer is B. That is under capital A, Kaplan, P2, under capital A, Kaplan, 2, that is system, B, that is Quincy Wright, 4, that is power, C, that is George Liska, 1, that is equilibrium, D, that is Martin Shubnik, 3, that is game. Exercise 127. Morgan 2 speaks of some attempts at peace. Which of the following is not included? A. Peace through limitation, B. Peace through negotiation, C. Peace through accommodation, and D. Peace through transformation. The correct answer is B, that is peace through negotiation. Chapter 14. Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations. Exercises, page 14.25. Exercise number 128. Assertion A. Equilibrium is a relationship among the forces operating within a group. Reason R. There is an element of stability in any phenomenon of equilibrium. A and R are true, R is the explanation of A. B, A and R are true, R is not the explanation of A. C, A is true, R is false. D, A is false, R is true. The correct answer is A. That is A and R are true, R is the explanation of A. Exercise 129. Consider the following statements. 1. The realist approach accepts the permanence of struggle for power. 2. Equilibrium theory stands for the fact of stability. 3. Game theory applies the psychological model in international politics. 4. System approach implies international system and nation-state system. Which of the statements given above are correct? A 1, 2, 3, B 1, 2, 4, C 1, 3, 4 and D 2, 3, 4. The correct answer is B, that is 1, 2, 4. 1 means the realist approach accepts the permanence of struggle for power. 2. Equilibrium theory stands for the fact of stability. And 4. System approach implies international system and nation-state system. Exercise 130. Which of the following is not the advocate of decision-making approach? A. Liska, B. Cinder, C. Brook and D. Riker. The correct answer is Liska. A. Correct answer is A. Liska. Exercise 131. Which of the following combinations constitute the advocates of the decision-making approaches? A. Hoffman and Wolfers, B. Liska and Kaplan, C. Robinson and Barton, and D. Shubnik and Deutsch. The correct answer is C, that is Robinson and Barton. Exercise 132. Which of the following statements with regard to game theory are correct? 1. The theory accepts the concept of strategy. 2. It assumes an opponent. 3. It recognizes no rulers that govern the game. 4. It seeks to know the information about the enemy. A 1, 2, 3, B 1, 2, 4, C 1, 3, 4 and D 2, 3, 4. The correct answer is B, that is 1, 2 and 4. 1. The theory accepts the concept of strategy. 2. It assumes an opponent. 4. It seeks to know the information about the enemy. Exercise 133. Exercise 133. Which of the following is not the type of game envisaged in the game theory? A. 2% zero-sum game. B. Constant sum game. C. Pro zero-sum game. And D. Non-zero-sum game. The correct answer is C, that is pro zero-sum game. Exercise 134. In the 2% zero-sum game, the outcome is A. Indecision, B. Decision, C. Continuous struggle and D. Cooperation. The correct answer is B, that is decision. Exercise 135. In the constant sum game, which of the following are true? 1. Mutual cooperation. 2. Mutual rivalry. C. 3. Mutual loss. 4. Mutual conflict. And 5. Mutual gain. The, A 1 and 2, B 2 and 3, C 1 and 5 and D 3 and 4. The correct answer is C, that is 1 and 5. 1. Mutual cooperation. 5. Mutual gain. Exercise 136. In the non-zero sum game, Which of the following are true? 1. Existence of conflict and cooperation between the players. 2. No loss for anyone. 3. No defeat for anyone. 4. Victory for all. A 1, 2, 4, B 1, 2, 3, C 1, 3, 4 and D 2, 3, 4. The correct answer is A, that is 1, 2, 4. 1. Existence of conflict and cooperation between the players. 2. No loss for anyone. And 4. Victory for all. Exercise 137. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column, list 1 space list 2. Under list 1 in the vertical column against serial number capital A, 2% zero sum game. Against serial number capital B, constant sum game. Against serial number capital C, non-zero sum game. Against serial number under list 2 in the vertical column, against serial number 1, mutual cooperation. Against serial number 2, victory for all. Against serial number 3, defeat for one. 4. Capital in the vertical in the horizontal column, capital A, capital B, capital C. Under capital A in the vertical column, against serial number A1, against serial number B3, against serial number C3, against serial number D2. Under capital B in the vertical column, against serial number A2, B2, C1 and D3. Under serial number capital C in the vertical column, against serial number A3, B1, C2 and D1. The correct answer is C, that is under A, 2% zero sum game. 3, that is defeat for one. Under capital B, constant sum game. 1, that is mutual cooperation. Under C, that is in the vertical column, that is non-zero sum game. 2, that is victory for all. Chapter 14, nationalism, internationalism, globalization and theories of international relations. Exercises, page 14.26. Exercise number 138. Which of the following is the advocate of the bargaining theory? A. Howard Simon. B. George Liska. C. Schelling and D. Kaplan. The correct answer is C. Schelling. 139. Exercise 139. Assertion A. In Kaplan's system theory, nation states are the main actors in international policies. Reason R. The roles of the nation states remain stationary in international system. A and R are true, R is the expansion of A. B, A and R are true, R is not the expansion of A. C, A is true, R is false. D, A is false, R is true. The correct answer is C, that is A is true, R is false. Exercise 140. Kaplan treats 6 models of international system. Which of the following is not included in it? A. The Cold War model. B. The loose bipolar model. C. The universal model. And D. The hierarchical wrong. I repeat again, D. The inhierarchical model. The correct answer is D, that is the inhierarchical model. Chapter 14, nationalization, page 14.27. Chapter 14, nationalism, internationalism, globalization and theories of international relations. In this chapter, philosophers, personalities and scholars. Allison G.A., 1940, an American political scientist known for his contribution to the bureaucratic analysis of decision making, director for the Balfour Center for Science and International Affairs. Bolding Kenneth E., 1910 to 93, an American economist, peace activist, systematic scientist, used psychic capital term works the economics of peace, beyond economics, principles of economic policy, famous quotes, wrong. I repeat, famous quotes within inverted comma, anything that exists is possible, inverted comma close. Theories without facts may be barren, but facts without theories are meaningless. Bracket inverted comma close. Within inverted comma, to make our tools and then they shape us. Inverted comma close. Inverted comma, Nothing fails like success because we do not learn from it. We only learn from our failures. Inverted comma close. Bujan Barry S. He is a professor of international relations at the London School of Economics. A special interest aspects of international security, structural realism, works, seabed politics, people, states and fear, change and the study of international relations, and introduction of strategic studies. Forster E.M. within bracket 1879 to 1970, an English novelist and essayist known for his ironic and well-plotted novels. His novel Howard's Ends. Harvey David, 1935, a British professor of anthropology, a geographer, worked the condition of postmodernity. Kaplan Morton, within bracket 1921, an American professor of political science, wrote Systems and Process in International Policies. Morgenstern, Oscar, within bracket 1902 to 77, a German-born Austrian economist, worked with John von Neumann on theories of game and economic behavior. Neibur Reinhold, within bracket 1892 to 1971, an American theologian known for the irony of American history, also wrote Leaps from the Network of a Tamed Cynic. Riker William, within bracket 1920 to 93, an American political scientist who applied game theory and mathematics to political science, works The Theory of Political Coalitions, The Art of Political Manipulation, Liberalism Against Populism. Robertson G. within bracket 1946 bracket close, an Australian human rightist lawyer, works The Justice Game, Freedom, the Individual and the Law, People Against the Press. Rossenu James, an American and a former president of the International Studies Association, works Turbulence in a World Politics, Distant Proximities, Dynamics Beyond Globalization. Scholte J.A., a professor of politics and international studies at Warwick. Shubhik Martin, within bracket 1926, an European professor at Yale University, wrote Political Economy, Oligarchy and Environmental Games. Oligopoly and Environmental Games. Cinder Richard, a professor of political science at Brown University, special field of study, comparative politics. Walsh Kenneth, within bracket 1924, an American political scientist known for his contribution to neoliberalism in international politics. Wright Quincy, within bracket 1890 to 1970, an American political scientist known for his international law and international relations. Work, a study for war. Wolf Virginia, within bracket 1882 to 1941, an English novelist and essayist, also known for her novels To the Lighthouse, A Room of One's Own. Exercise 14, Nationalism, Internationalism, Globalization and Theories of International Relations, page 14.28. In this chapter, key terms and concepts. Deteriorization, a process in which the organization of social activities is increasingly less constrained by geographical proximity and national territorial boundaries. Global governance, the involving system of within bracket formal and informal political contribution across multiple levels from the local to the global amongst public authorities. Globalism, the condition of globalization at any particular time, usually gauged by the thinness. Internationalization, growing interactions between national states. Globalization, a historical process involving a fundamental shift or transformation in the spatial scale of human social organization that links distant communities and expands the reach of power relations across regions and continents. Global polity, the collective structures and processes by which, within inverted comma, interests are articulated and aggregated, decisions are made, values allocated, and policies conducted through international or transnational political process, inverted comma close. Institutionalization, the degree to which networks or patterns of social interaction are formally constituted as organizations with specific purposes. Regionalization, growing interdependence between geographically contiguous states as in the European Union within bracket EU bracket close. Normative theory, systematic analysis of the ethical, moral and political principles which either govern or ought to govern the organization to conduct of global politics. Time-space compression, the technologically induced erosion of distance and time giving the appearance of a world that is in communication terms shrinking. Transnational civil society, a political arena in which citizens and private interests collaborate across borders to advance their mutual goals or to bring governments and the formal institutions of global governments to account for their activities. War, a condition of open hostilities between two or more states. Exercise 14. In this chapter, authors and books, page is continuing. Albro M. The Global Age. Anderson B. In this chapter, authors and books. Albro A. M. The Global Age. Anderson B. Imagined Communities. Baldwin D. Yeats. New Realism and New Liberalism. Woman Z. Globalization. Brown C. International Relations. Brewer A. Marxist Theories of Imperialism. Barton J. World Society. Bujan B. People, States and Fear. Calvert P. The International Politics. Cardosa L. and Levin D. Dependence and Development in Latin America. Clark 1. Globalization and International Relations. Polas A. International Civil Society. Doyce K.W. The Analysis of International Relations. Atkins J. Post-Structuralism and International Relations. Falk R. A Study of Human Worlds. Frank A.J. The World System. Goldstein J.'s International Relations. Harvey D. The Condition of Postmodernity. Held D. Democracy and the Global World. Hobsbawm E. Nations and Nationalism. Holsti KG. War, the State and the State of War. Kimlicka W. Liberalism, Community and Culture. Robertson R. Globalization. Rossenu J.N. Turbulence in World Politics. Schelling T.C. The Strategy of Conflict. Scholte A. International Relations. Wrong. The previous one is wrong. International Relations. Now the correct answer will be International Relations and Globalizations. Smith A. The Power of Power Politics. No, wrong. Smith A. Theories of Nationalism. Vasquez J. Day. The Power of Politics. Wallerstein J. Wallerstein I. The modern world system. Waltz K. Man, the state and war. Theory of international politics. Reed M. Significant systems of states. Young O. Global governance.